Welcome to the Emerging History channel. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out more videos like this one. Ethiopia, 1935. Italian men prepare to depart for the Second Italo-Abyssinian War. These soldiers joined a massive mobilization effort marking an aggressive period of colonial expansion that would soon reshape the Horn of Africa. Washington, D.C. 1913. J. Hamilton Lewis serves as the very first Senate Whip. A veteran of the Spanish-American War, Lewis established this critical leadership role, ensuring party discipline during a transformative era of American politics. New York City, 1943. Pilot Jack W. Watson maneuvers a massive B-17 Flying Fortress over Yankee Stadium as fans watch the World Series below. This low-altitude flyover served as a powerful wartime morale booster. Paris, 1928. Renowned artist Fujita works within his eclectic studio. The Japanese-French painter was a staple of the Roaring Twenties art scene, blending Eastern and Western styles to become a true Parisian cultural icon. Sasebo, 1946. The Japanese cruiser submarine 58 sits in port after the war. Only months earlier, this vessel delivered a devastating blow to the Allied Navy, sinking the USS Indianapolis with a lethal torpedo spread. Saipan, 1944. A captured Japanese soldier uses a loudspeaker to reach his comrades hiding in nearby caves. He pleads for their peaceful surrender, attempting to prevent further bloodshed in the final days of battle. Port Arthur, 1905. Japanese soldiers stand alongside massive 500-pound shells. These heavy munitions were destined for the Russian fortress, fueling one of the most intense and decisive sieges of the bloody Russo-Japanese War. New York City, 1905. The Jefferson Market Courthouse stands as a Victorian Gothic landmark, serving the bustling streets of Greenwich Village. Its unique architecture made it one of the city's most recognizable legal hubs. Sarajevo, 1920s. A quiet Jewish cemetery rests on the hillsides of Bosnia. These weathered tombstones stand as a silent testament to a vibrant Sephardic community that flourished for centuries within the heart of the Balkans. Kielce, 1945. Holocaust survivors returned to their homes in Poland hoping for peace. Tragically, their homecoming was met with violence as a deadly pogrom. The following year forced many to flee their homeland forever. Afghanistan, 2010. American soldiers find a moment of levity in the Arghandab River Valley amidst the tension of the spring offensive. These Joes bonded through humor to endure the daily rigors of the front lines. Miami, 1961. John F. Kennedy blends into a massive crowd at a college football game. Even as president, he sought the energy of the American public, enjoying a brief reprieve from the escalating Cold War. Atlantic Ocean, 1873. Quartermaster John Speakman poses for a portrait as a crewman on the SS Atlantic. His life was defined by the high seas during an era when steamships were revolutionizing global maritime travel. Ottawa, 1979. A young Justin Trudeau welcomes members of the press alongside his brothers growing up in the public eye. The future Prime Minister was already learning the complexities of life in the political spotlight. Nampo Harbor, 1978. Kidnapped South Korean actress Choi Yoon-hee is met by her captor Kim Jong-il. This brazen abduction was part of a bizarre plot to revitalize the North Korean film industry through forced talent. Sudan, 1955. Young boys are conscripted into service during the First Sudanese Civil War. These soldiers were caught in a decades-long struggle for independence and identity that would ultimately fracture the entire nation. Athens, 1930, King George II of Greece stands with his nephew Michael and cousin Prince Philip. This gathering of European royalty captures a rare moment of family unity before the upheaval of World War. Belgium, 1934. King Leopold III conducts a formal inspection of his frontline soldiers. Taking the throne during a period of rising European tension, the young monarch sought to project strength and national readiness. Russia, 1995. Konstantin Petrov poses during a pivotal year in post-Soviet history as the nation grappled with economic shifts. Individuals like Petrov navigated the challenging transition from a communist past to an uncertain future. Independence, 1965. President Lyndon B. Johnson signs the historic Social Security amendments. By his side, Harry Truman becomes the first person enrolled in Medicare, cementing a new era of American socialized health care for seniors. Glasgow, 1967. The Queen Elizabeth II slides into the water at Upper Clyde Shipbuilders. This launch celebrated a masterwork of British engineering destined to become one of the most famous ocean liners in history. Maryland, 1909. 6-year-old Laura Petty works as a berry picker on a local farm. Her grueling labor was documented by reformers to expose the harsh realities of child employment in early 20th century America. Russia, 1917. Vladimir Lenin dons a wig and makeup to bypass border security, disguised for a false passport. The revolutionary leader moved in the shadows to orchestrate the uprising that would soon change history. Hazavant, 1918. Lieutenant Colonel William Donovan serves on the Western Front known as Wild Bill. His bravery in the Great War laid the foundation for his future role as the father of American intelligence. Germany, 1910. Lily Lehmann. The legendary soprano prepares for a performance renowned for her incredible range and artistic discipline. She remained a dominant force in the world of opera well into her silver years. Chernobyl, 1986. Liquidators used specialized equipment to measure radioactivity levels in the soil. These brave workers risked their lives to contain the nuclear disaster, battling an invisible enemy to save the surrounding region. North Dakota, 1917. Young girl adapts to life after losing a limb, despite the medical limitations of the era. Her resilience reflects the hardy spirit of pioneer families living on the American frontier. Bahamas, 1900. Local laborers toil at a limestone quarry on New Providence Island. This grueling work provided the raw materials for the colonial architecture that still defines much of the British West Indies today. Brazil, 1880. A powerful locomotive prepares to traverse the new railway, linking Minas Gerais and Rio de Janeiro. This feat of engineering accelerated the nation's industrial growth, connecting the interior to the coast. Washington, D.C. 1941. A researcher navigates the vast card catalog at the Library of Congress before the digital age. These millions of handwritten cards were the only gateway to the world's most extensive knowledge. Chateaudun, 1944. General George S. Patton awards the Silver Star to a brave black soldier. This recognition of gallantry highlighted the vital contributions of African American troops fighting on the front lines of liberated France. France, 1917. German ace Werner Voss stands proudly before his Fokker fighter. This portrait was taken just before his legendary final dogfight, where he heroically engaged 6 British planes single-handedly before his demise. Hollywood, 1948. Lucille Ball poses for a publicity shot for her radio show My Favorite Husband. This comedic role served as the creative blueprint for the television phenomenon that would soon become I Love Lucy. France, 1917. A British soldier displays his dented steel helmet with a relieved smile. The jagged hole serves as a chilling reminder of a near miss, proving that a few millimeters of steel meant survival. France, 1940. Luftwaffe ace Franz von Wera relaxes with his pet lion Simba. Known as a daring playboy, Wera's flamboyant personality and mascot became famous across the front before his daring escape from captivity. Lubeck, 1942. The historic cathedral burns fiercely following a devastating Allied air raid. The destruction of this medieval landmark signaled a grim turning point in the aerial campaign over the heart of Germany. Afghanistan, 2010. Soldiers man the perimeter walls at combat. Outpost where, after repelling an insurgent attack, the troops remain on high alert, scanning the rugged horizon for any signs of renewed hostile movement. Hollywood, 1951. Marilyn Monroe poses in a simple potato sack to prove her natural beauty, even in the humblest of fabrics. Her unmistakable charisma shone through silencing critics and cementing her status as an icon. New York, 1986. Director Martin Scorsese guides Michael Jackson through a scene for the Bad music video. This collaboration between two masters of their craft resulted in a cinematic piece of pop culture history. New York, 1905. Maud Feely, a star of the silent stage and screen poses for a portrait. Her ethereal beauty and dramatic talent made her one of the most photographed and beloved actresses of her era. Normandy, 1944. A medical transport craft waits off Omaha Beach to evacuate the wounded amidst the chaos of D-Day. These vessels provided a lifeline for soldiers injured in the brutal first wave of invasion. France, 1910. The Brazilian royal family lives in quiet exile. Deposed years earlier, Princess Isabel and her kin maintained their regal traditions while navigating a new life, far from the country they once ruled. Los Angeles, 1962. The Sunbeam Alpine Racing Team prepares for a high-stakes endurance race. With engines roaring and mechanics making final adjustments, they aim to prove their speed on the demanding California circuit. Washington, D.C. 1981. Members of Congress meet with Yaroslav Stetsko to discuss foreign policy. The meeting sparked controversy due to Stetsko's radical past, highlighting the complex alliances formed during the height of the Cold War. Stockholm, 1945. Members of the Swing Piat subculture gather outside a local jazz club. With their oversized suits and rebellious attitudes, these youths used music and fashion to protest the rigid norms of wartime society. Washington, D.C. 1941. A worker at Gichner Iron Works operates a heavy metal strip cutter as the nation prepared for war. Industrial shops like this shifted into high gear to supply the American military. London, 1965. Michael Douglas joins his father Kirk on the set of Cast a Giant Shadow. This behind-the-scenes moment captures the passing of the Hollywood torch between two generations of legendary leading men. Galveston, 1929. Olga Bergamini de Sá represents Brazil at an international beauty pageant. Her visit to Texas celebrated global glamour, bringing a touch of South American elegance to the shores of the Gulf. Idaho, 1935. A young woman is crowned Miss Idaho Potato during a local festival. This quirky pageant celebrated the state's most famous export-blending agricultural pride with the classics, American spirit of competition. Fiji, 1919. A diverse group of Fijian and European men trained together in a local gymnasium. This early display of multicultural bodybuilding highlighted a shared passion for physical fitness in the post-war Pacific. Coventry, 1947. Members of the Mothers' Union gather for a service within the ruins of the bombed cathedral. Their presence among the debris served as a powerful symbol of hope and spiritual resilience. Moscow, 1991. Civilians worked together to topple the massive statue of KGB founder Felix Dzerzhinsky. The fall of this bronze titan marked the symbolic end of Soviet secret police repression and the coup's failure. Pennsylvania, 1955. A mother gently bathes her baby in the modest warmth of a kitchen sink. This intimate scene of a domestic life captures the quiet, everyday devotion found in middle-class American homes during the 50s. Qatar 2003 technical crews prepare the massive mother of all bombs for deployment, weighing 21,000 pounds. This colossal weapon was designed for maximum psychological and physical impact on the modern battlefield. Mississippi, 1973. Motorists form long winding lines at a Jackson gas station. The sudden oil shortage turned a routine task into a grueling wait, defining a decade of economic uncertainty and energy crisis. South Dakota, 1935. Laborers used dynamite and drills to carve massive faces into Mount Rushmore. This monumental undertaking required years of dangerous work to transform the rugged granite peak into a national shrine. Amman, 1999. Thousands of mourners gathered to honor the memory of King Hussein of Jordan, holding his portrait high. The nation grieved the loss of a leader who had guided them through decades of turmoil. California, 1943. Elizabeth Short, later known as the Black Dahlia, is photographed during a booking for underage drinking. This early brush with the law would later haunt the narrative of her tragic unsolved mystery. Galicia, 1914. Muslim soldiers serving in the Russian Imperial Army pause for their daily prayers. Despite the brewing storm of the Great War, they maintained their faith while stationed on the grueling Austrian front. Ankara, 1934. President Mustafa Kemal Ataturk welcomes Shah Reza Pahlavi to Turkey. This historic meeting between two secular reformers aimed to modernize their respective nations and forge a new path for the Middle East. New York City, 2001. A NOAA satellite captures the haunting aftermath of the September 11th attacks. The overhead view reveals the vast plume of smoke and debris, documenting a landscape forever altered by tragedy. New Zealand, 1931. The city of Napier lies in ruins following the devastating Hawke's Bay earthquake, with hundreds dead and buildings leveled. The community began a monumental effort to rebuild their lives from the rubble. Italy, 1945. Nazi General Anton Dostler is prepared for execution by a firing squad convicted of war crimes for the execution of American commandos. His death marked a stern application of post-war military justice. New York City, 1957. No Gene Diem waves to cheering crowds during a ticker tape parade down Broadway. This high-profile visit was designed to solidify American support for South Vietnam during the escalating Cold War. Pacific Ocean, 1969. President Nixon greets the Apollo 11 crew through the window of a quarantine trailer to prevent the spread of moon pathogens. The heroes remained isolated while celebrating their historic lunar triumph. England, 1919. A massive German U-boat sits beached on the shores of Hastings. Crowds gathered to marvel at the mechanical predator of the deep, now a helpless tourist attraction after the Great War ended. Vietnam 1970 nurses worked tirelessly in a makeshift field hospital to stabilize the wounded operating under primitive conditions. These medical professionals provided essential care amidst the heat and chaos of the ongoing conflict. Russia 1920, Mikhail Kalinin, a high-ranking Bolshevik leader, gazes into the distance as the new Soviet state struggled to survive its infancy. Kalinin became a key face of the party's outreach to the peasantry. Cambodia 1978. A portrait captures one of the many victims of the Khmer Rouge, documented before execution for the perceived crime of being educated. This face remains a haunting reminder of a senseless national tragedy. Belgium 1944. P-47 pilots gather on a snowy airfield in Chièvre. These airmen provided vital support during the Battle of the Bulge, flying dangerous missions in freezing conditions to halt the German counteroffensive. Virginia 1942. The PT-109 is secured aboard a transport ship for its journey to the Pacific. This small torpedo boat would later become famous as the vessel commanded by a young John F. Kennedy. Hawaii 1941. Smoke billows across the horizon during the surprise Japanese raid on Pearl Harbor. This panoramic view captures the devastating moment the United States was propelled into the heart of World War II. Germany 1945. American paratroopers take a rare moment to pose in the breathtaking Bavarian Alps captured just before the war's end. These photos were meant to reassure their families back home of their safety. London 1919. Commuters scramble to board a moving tram during a national railway strike. With the transit system paralyzed, the city's residents had to fight for any available space to reach their destinations. London 1925. Curious shoppers crowd around the first public demonstration of the televisor. This primitive device by John Baird offered a flickering glimpse into the future, forever changing the way the world communicates. Tehran 1979. Armed citizens celebrate atop a looted military vehicle during the Islamic Revolution. The fall of the old regime brought a wave of chaotic energy as the nation transitioned into a new era. Dallas 1963. Photographers sprint toward the grassy knoll in the frantic moments following President Kennedy's assassination. This image captures the immediate confusion and the desperate scramble for answers during a dark day in history. Poland 1958. A traditional cabman waits for passengers on the streets of Lublin. Despite the rise of the automobile, these horse-drawn carriages remained a familiar sight, linking the city's modern life to its past. Sochaczew, 1939. Polish cavalry ride through the smoke of a bombed-out town following a rare early victory. These soldiers continued their defiant stand against the overwhelming force of the invading German army. Poland 1920. Defensive forces engage in a desperate struggle against the Red Army during the Battle of Niemen. This conflict was a decisive moment in the war, securing Poland's independence for the coming decades.